Let's go. Let's show our faces. Hello there.
Hello.
My name is Jarek.
My name's Simon.
I'm the Archon CEO.
And I'm just a guy that helps.
Really? That's what it is today. Okay, that's fine. How's it going, guys? Long time no see. Sorry for the little bit longer break than usual. It's been basically extremely busy last few months, and especially that we flew to States for 10 days for a show, and after that, where basically after the show, what's happened after the show? After the show, what happened basically 16 hours of work every day for the last 7 days. So that's what happened. Where we're going to start today, Shimon? Should we start with some questions from the chat? I mean, guys, keep the questions coming. We're gonna be, I'm gonna be able to answer most of the questions today regarding most of the projects we have. But just quickly, caves. So we can talk quickly about the caves. I have something about the Heroes board game. I do have actually physical samples over there with miniatures now, so we can show you that. Heroes battles. Yeah, I have one slide. There was a one post blog post, so we can go for the post blog soon. Yeah. Then Port Heaven, obviously. Starside. A lot of materials for Starside to show you. Master of Orion, by the way. So we, for the Master of Orion, we opened the Pledge Manager, right? It's been open and should be open for the next month, maybe, or two still. So if you want to grab that game, you can go there. However, there's a blog post, but I will show you in a sec that we're going to be there. And the World of Tanks, obviously. Regarding Starcraft, if you have some questions, I'm happy to answer. I mean, the first one, just to get that one out of the way, why we're not showing anything, is basically we're not going to be showing you guys renders of miniatures. We're only going to be showing you photos of physical painted miniatures. That's the kind of strategy we want to take. And that's what we're going to do for that. So that's that then. And we can expect some first photos of miniatures. I would say just give us some time, a few months. We have a bunch of miniatures approved from licensor, from Blizzard. So they are now in the process of being manufactured, samples being manufactured. So once we have samples approved in States, we are going to be doing that. So we're going to be showing you painted miniatures. So give us some time. The game is also in development, and that's it. Won't be saying much more about that. But if you have some specific questions, I'm happy to answer, at least not maybe, exactly, but I'll try to give you some answers regarding StarCraft. So keep the questions coming. You did put your questions in the Discord. I'm not quite sure if I have all the questions from Discord here. So let's have a look what we have. Shimon, what we have here.
You mentioned in the live stream about showing people around the Visio factory. I was thinking it would be great if you could do an annual open day / weekend, like Archon Day. People from around the world could travel, have a tour, meet up to play games, playtest games in development, and meet new friends and people they talk on the Discord / Facebook group. Order mobile food trucks / bars outside the factory and make it a big party.
Yeah, that is the plan for September this year, but this is going to be just the opening day. Opening day for the factory and is for the locals here. But if you want to come over in September, let us know. We will let you know exactly date. Also, we're going to have food trucks here. It's going to be like a, entire day just to get your family into the work, show them what exactly you do, and show the factory and show all the other things that is happening here in the factory. So we will have big visitors. We're gonna have visitors from overseas, from specific company. So I'm not gonna be saying which one. You probably know which one is it. But yeah, and also from UK.
Hey? We have the perfect name for it as well. Just call it Archon.
Archon. Yeah, that's true. But this is a good idea what you ask for. We actually wanted to do last year something like that and make a huge tournament here, because we have a small fantasy show, I would say, like a con, it's basically called PillCon. It's like family oriented fantasy day when you can play old video games or RPG games, board games, paint our miniatures. We have our standard, you can just jump, and paint miniatures. So what we wanted to do last year was to combine this one with some tournaments, and meant to be hero tournaments, like a global finals of Polish nationals and heroes. But that didn't happen. It's gonna probably happen this year. So we need to work with them to see whether they're gonna find some room for us and how much they're going to find for us. So we will have like Heroes there, Heroes finals, maybe Starcraft finals, Polish ones. I don't know. We will see. But yeah, it is already. We have that one in mind to have some events like that. What was the next one? I'm blind with my glasses.
So, question from the Discord. Any chances we could get neoprene mats for Port Haven? One would be an ocean, one would be a beach with an edge of water, and one would be a jungle floor.
We know there is a requirement for that, and at the moment, no. I don't think we're going to be doing anything for Port Haven in terms of mats, no?
I don't think we have any plans for that at the moment, no.
What was survey said? Was any survey?
There was a survey, yeah. I mean, there obviously was some interest in it, as always. I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
But again, sourcing these mats is usually an issue.
Yeah.
Unless we like find a new solution.
Yeah. No, mats. I need to make mats. I have to make mats in Poland, by the way. So if I want to be making mats in Poland, if I want to be making mats in Poland, I won't be able to. I mean, in our factory, I won't be supplying them out of China. Guys, it's not the best time at the moment for getting any products out of China, and I'm very, very happy that we kind of in a good position. But it's shocking that maybe not shocking, but I'm really sorry for other companies which just needs to supply 100% products from China and struggle now with tariffs. And you guys know better than probably us anyway, because you follow other companies, more companies than us, because you buy products from many companies. But you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially like, Simon problems at the moment, cool me or not. And many other companies which have in at the moment lots of issues with tariffs, and they have to rely on Chinese manufacturing. So at this stage, we went on a shopping spree like crazy, by the way, for machines, just for the machines, because we need to make sure that we need to get them done here in Europe. Many components here in Europe. Now you mentioned the deep cut studios. They do, but they do. Every single company which makes products for themselves, when it comes to making products for you, they're going to be very, very expensive, and there's no point of making this product with them, because they're going to be charging us quite a lot, because they see us as a competition, not as a partner. That's the difference. So that's that. And we did that, like, Mati PL or PL, whatever. There was a plain mat, something like that, other page, Polish one, which we wanted to make some things with them, and the prices were just crazy. So yeah, but maybe at some point, I don't know. I'm not saying no. I mean, we just got like lots of machines coming to our way. So once we settle up the box manufacturing, card manufacturing, and all the paper component manufacturing here, we're gonna move to other things. And dice. I want to make dice as well. I want to make dice, but what I want and what will happen is two different stories, right? Okay. Well, I click something. Okay, it's fine. It works. We have 4 questions here, right? So.
Yeah, 4 questions at once, and I'm already sorry in advance for bugging you again with the same 2. Do you have any news on the sales for the ship? So I believe Dave was working with that, and he did figure something out. I don't think we have it available here to show them.
I don't. I think they have downstairs now. But basically what we did, they designed small clips here. Let me just change that camera to this one. I need Okay, so he designed some additional clips here, much bigger than those ones. So, and their sails will fit on that one. And I need to get those sails to show you, and also the clips to show you how everything works. But we're almost there with that. And once we're happy, it looks good, and once we're ready for that, we will do it. Yeah, we'll show you.
So next question, did you have a chance to discuss adding transparent plastic parts to the miniatures of the Naiads, Nereid, Marid, and Leviathan to reflect the actual water of the concept art on the mini? If so, what was decided? I don't believe we will be making any changes to these minis at the moment. They will probably remain in mostly grey plastic, if I recall correctly. Again, I'd have to check. I apologize. I'm not too familiar with the current design or production process with these minis?
It's not that. I mean, concept of the mini is basically concept for the mini, and it's 2D art. When it comes to 3D and when it comes to making something out of clear plastic, if we make that, it will just double the amount of tools we have to design for this. And not only that, it's much more complicated process. Much more complicated process than just making anything in a grey plastic. So we do have for other games, and for Starcraft, for instance, we're going to be utilizing quite a lot of clear plastic, but that's the strategy we're going to take with that game. Same for the our space combat game. So yeah.
So something new to show concerning the Prismacast ship.
No, I don't have nothing. We haven't tested again. We're waiting now for machines to be finishing. Once machines are finishing what they're doing at the moment, this means finishing of the production for caves. Once this one is finished, we will just then put back a ship in the another test. I know what for a fact what they did. They've made a samples of ship in different brown plastic. So that one behind me. Yay! Maybe I will just knock something. No. That color was a little bit too light, in my opinion. So what we're going to test it right now, we're going to test it on a darker one. What's the next question?
Did you already decide what and how you will offer from caves in the Port Haven PM?
Yeah, what exactly from caves is going to be in Port Haven, Kevin? The Port Haven PM, Pledge Manager.
Yeah, I think you said something about offering entire pledges. Just
we did.
Caves.
No, I think we thought about that one, and I think this decision was made just to make a core sets available and some random bits and bobs. Okay. So when I say random bits and bobs, maybe some miniatures, add-ons, and everything else. So that's what you're going to find there. Obviously, that's what we always do when you have we give you a chance to buy something from the previous campaign in this campaign. Especially that now it's quite clear to announce that the painted pledges shipping started. So soon, within a couple of weeks, we're gonna see a lot of pictures on a Facebook and everywhere else with people receiving their painted ones. We are about, I would say, a couple of days miss the date of starting shipping. So for the painted ones, but a couple of days, it's not a couple of months. Right, let's check. Maybe have some questions here. Starcraft, please. Yeah, if you have some specific question regarding Starcraft, please hit us. I mean, the release date is planned for first quarter of 2026, and with the pre-order starting around about September this year. A pre-order, it won't be Kickstarter, by the way. There's no crowdfunding on that project, right? So it's going to be directly to you from our page.
Mm-hmm. Home 3 legacy shipping. Regarding tracking numbers, a lot of us did not get tracking numbers. Would it be fixed for the expansion wave? So honestly, I'm not entirely too sure what happened there. I think just the tracking numbers took a long time to go live. Maybe just sending through Green Logistics maybe caused some of that.
Yeah, it's on the Green Logistics side of it. I mean, they shipped the parcel to you, received the parcel, but you had no tracking number. That's true. Mm-hmm. It's basically a Green Logistics system which needs to be fixed. So we have been notified about this issue. I think there was like a few days of shipping, and you have to bear in mind they ship like thousands of parcels every day, which they had like a small problem with the system. So that's caused it.
Are we going to be shipping the main wave ourselves, or how are things looking on that front?
This again.
Are we going to be shipping the main wave ourselves, or are we going to be using another logistics company like Green Logistics?
Depending on this place here, if that warehouse is going to be operational fully, I mean, in September, we said in September we want to do the grand opening, so it should be then, which means then once we have that one fully operational, it's going to be from this place now. If not, we're still going to have to use third-party services. Now, the problem with using third-party services is much more expensive than we anticipated, because as always they just come to you and say, okay, now it's going to be more expensive, and either you accept or go somewhere else. So
we also just have less control over shipping.
That's true. It will take longer, although it will take longer to ship from our place than it will take from Green Logistics, because our systems are not that efficient like Green Logistics ones. They are professional in logistics operations.
It's less efficient. We just have less capacity.
Yeah. That's what it is.
So yeah, it will mean that we just have more control over. We just have more knowledge as well over the entire process. We can give more concrete deadlines on how things will look like.
Yeah. Was there ever a solution for the mismatch for the retail and the Kickstarter price on caves? I think it was, right? Wasn't.
I don't know.
Sales team did something wrong. I don't know what's in there. We need to talk with sales team again to see what's going on. But I think not full pledge being offered for not full pledge. I mean not full set being offered for that price.
Basically, it was the add-on in the campaign was kind of overpriced. I think. But like the separate add-on, the separate add-on for like the sub themes, for example, they were a bit overpriced in comparison to what we were offering in the pledges. And basically, when it came time to retail, the retail set was released at relatively more normal prices. Obviously, the deal is still better if you purchase it through a pledge. But that value did kind of seemingly go down. So again, we're gonna have to just look through what happened.
But what was the difference? 5%, 10%, 15%, something like that, on just that set itself. I'll check that one with the.
I did like some math. Some math. I can't remember off the top of my head though. I loved getting Abomination Bolts in Prismacast, but was hoping City of Absalom would be available in Prismacast too. Any chance of that in the next DNL?
Did we not test it? I think we did test it. Something wrong with we couldn't because some of the elements were too thick, right?
Yeah. Well, the issue was that the machine couldn't hit some of the parts basically on the sprue, which is why we didn't go make it.
Yeah. So unfortunately not unless we redo entire set, which we don't have a time on that for that one at the moment.
If I have a content creator who I think would be an excellent partner for you guys to work with in regards to StarCraft, how would be the best way to mention them to you? Well, you can just let us know on the live stream now, or you can just send us an email and
if you go to our page, I think you can selectively choose which department the email will go to. So just choose, am I correct? Yeah. So just choose the customer service. They will get that forward to our marketing team. We're going to be supporting, by the way, should we say that?
Well, I don't know what you want to say. So.
Okay, maybe next time. About the StarCraft and support, financial support of tournaments. Video
he's talking about the tabletop.
I'm talking about the... Okay. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you.
What I'm talking about is something else. Okay, not yet. I will do that. Okay, so there's a question also about the tabletop tournament support will look like. We do have team here internally which actually support tournaments, and it's actually something we're gaining experience now on other games, which is the Battleground as well as Heroes. So team is getting much more experience, and we will be looking at having people to support the tournaments and stores to support the tournaments. And obviously, as always, there is a tournament pack like with every single game. We would expect exactly the same like with other tabletop games. Yeah, but what I'm talking about, the support, financial support, is the financial support for the video game tournaments as well, on top of that everything. So we want to give back to community what we going to make on this game anyway, so that's the whole plan.
Will Master of Orion have a playthrough posted soon? We'd love to see the kinds of balancing changes you're making. Yeah, so we've actually already recorded the gameplay some time ago. And it's currently being edited. I believe there's about, I think it's about 4 hours of raw footage. Possibly, I think we recorded it within 5 hours, including breaks as well. So it's quite a bit to get through, editing-wise, but we're slowly getting there.
Yeah. How many people played?
4.
4 people played, okay. It's an hour per player?
Yeah, I'd say it's about an hour per player.
But that was with explaining the rules, right?
Yeah, we did explain some stuff as well as we went along.
Because the target was around about 45 minutes per person to play, so it is possible to experience people to play 45 minutes per person.
If the game ends early, then yeah, I'd say it's definitely possible. And you already also have a very experienced table that goes through their turns efficiently. Yeah. You guys ever consider partnering with Avalon Hill to get a license to build a DNL Hero Quest board in half height or full? We need to look into that. I think. There's been a lot of
it's a good idea.
Requests for Hero Quest compatible stuff, I think. Is there a gaming/mini convention in Poland?
Big one. There's a big one called Pyrkon.
was specifically for gaming and minis, or war games and minis.
Lots of things.
There's a lot of stuff at Pyrkon, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things in Pyrkon. I think Pyrkon is around about 45,000 people through the door and across 3 days. Unique entries. So a lot, big one. That's a big one in Europe. One of the bigger one in Europe, Pyrkon. So it's it's on the national news and everyone else. But you have the full spectrum of things there, right? From the books, fantasy, sci-fi books, thingies, and through Lego, video games, and then ending up with us. This means the tabletop games and board games, which is the most busy hall in there. But it is, yeah, it's a big one. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mike. Mike is oh god, I can see there's lots of questions here coming through. Right, Jesus, so maybe go here quickly. What's there?
Are all the caves Prismacast schemes finished? Can we see a small sample build of each design? And how soon are Prismacast pledges likely to start shipping?
You happy to answer that?
I mean, I personally don't
know.
So
the Prismacast pledges, we just started shipping. So Thursday, today and tomorrow, it's going to be full packing day and shipping day for pre-painted pledges. So they haven't hit the target because I told them by the end of the May. So they missed the boat for 5 days, my team. So I'm not very happy. I'm joking. But
I cut them some slack.
I know. I give them a lot, but the situation is at the moment we have like new construction happening. I needed to tear down the warehouse which we have here. We have other warehouse in other building like 6 miles away from here. They have to drive back and forth there just to get the stock, pack the stock, bring in here. It's just a little bit complicated at the moment till we get a new warehouse and everything like it's central here, located here. So I know, but with the conditions they got, like, yeah. So can we see a small samples building on each design? Okay, that thing, oh yeah, I know what I mean. I will ask my team to update the page because we should be able to do, full assembly of everything. So you probably have seen lots of pictures from, UK Game Expo and things like that, so, but.
Hello, did you have a good UK Games Expo? Passed by the stand and thought Master of Orion looked really good. Yeah, I think it's a great game personally.
It's a game which we spend a really lot of time on design.
Oh yeah, right? I think this is the game we spent the most design time on, like, period.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many interrelations that game had, but maybe like whether the core rules actually are as they were at the beginning. I don't think so. They change.
Oh no, it went through multiple. Different.
That's what it is. The designing process is let's design something, let's test it on a table, and then let's move on, let's design something, and so on. You guys know how it works. Like in every single industry is the same. Test it, try it, test it again, try it again, and that's it till you get there. But don't do fake it till you make it, right? Like like some business industry sometimes does. Alex is thank you, Alex, for answering some questions here. I can see Jakub as well helping out in answering questions. Thank you.
Shout out to you, UKG team, who were amazing with everyone and kept great spirits after the long journey and long con.
Yeah. And there was a few team members first time there, right? First time on a trade show, right?
Yeah.
So
one of my friends as well, personal friends.
It was like a good experience, right?
Yeah. I'm a bit jealous, It's always a good opportunity to get some good food. I do not know if it was said, but I wonder what made Archon do card-based games if they are mainly about plastic.
That's the thing, because we are mainly about the plastic, we have to make other games. We ended up with having some capacity, let's say designing capacity, and we increased designing capacity, but we couldn't increase any type of capacity for 3D models. So let's make games with no models. This means let's make card games. We want to try test it and see how that one works. I think the team's got good game, very good game in terms of heroes. So that's it's going to be success. And the World of Tanks is going to retail in September as well, right? The World of Tanks situation was slightly different, but I cannot really say on live, maybe in person, why we actually.
Buy him a beer, he'll tell you everything.
Why exactly we're doing the the World of Tanks card game. It's very, very complicated. But yeah, when you see me next time on a trade show, ask me about it. I will be happy to answer to that question at least. Have the unpainted caves finishing? Yes, we have finished it. We have finished all the unpainted ones.
No, there's still some left.
Some left?
Yeah, for UK, for example, and there's a couple as well, I believe, pledges that have the hardcover RPG book as well, haven't been shipped out.
Oh.
And there's also the pledges that have legacy products and unpainted caves. Or pre-painted legacy products and unpainted caves.
Okay.
I believe those are the only remaining orders for caves.
So many of them roughly?
Ooh. My estimate right now would be around 200, which is a very low number in comparison to how many unpainted pledges there are.
It's about 3%.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so you heard it. So not everything has been shipped out yet, but
yeah, but so
they reporting to me like, Jarek, everything has been shipped out. Oh, unless there's no, everything been shipped out unless there's a few more pledges to be shipped out. Few for them is 200, maybe less, but
yeah, but we will be shipping.
But out of 4,000 pledges we shipped out, that's a small number, yeah.
Yeah, but we will be shipping pre-painted stuff at the same time as the unpainted stuff now. Just like the last remainder.
Yeah. Wow, there's lots of questions today. Must be lots of people there on chat, on watching.
On a scale from 0 to the company is named after them, how good will the Starcraft Archons look?
Yeah, definitely the company's name after them. And that's how good it's going to look. We're all waiting for that model to be, sculpted. And I can tell you this, expect a lot of clear plastic in. We have a unique technology on the market at the moment, and we have to use it. We have to use it and put that one on a table almost everywhere. So then you have to, when you look at Archon, when you look at the itself as a the model itself, and what you find on a art station or whatever, and when you imagine the clear plastic use for that one, yeah, this is how good it's going to look. Yeah. Fun fact, not even fun fact, real fun fact: the clear plastic technology was designed for Starcraft, out of the get-go. I mean, this project was like 6 years in making, in signing the deal, 6 years. So every single step we had kind of, try to explain what exactly the product we would like to do. It was like, but that doesn't, whatever. Okay, no worries, we will develop the clear plastic. And here we go, we got clear plastic. All of a sudden we start doing, dragons and other things in clear plastic. But this, I swear to God, that technology was purely designed with the Starcraft in mind, because we knew we will need that clear plastic for some elements in that game, in the miniature. So it's like, it's crazy. Right, let's check, because we are at the moment 27 minutes in and we have so many questions, and I have so many slides to show you.
Any news from the wargaming front? Starcraft / Heroes Battles or other related releases like terrain kits?
For the wargaming is what we work on at the moment is, and the closest wargaming we're gonna release is this. This is a Starside game. This is the game we've been working for some time now. Now, obviously, this is 3D print. And here again, we're thinking about using a clear plastic to use many things inside there. You're going to get in clear plastic, and also there should be a shooting effect and so on. And some of the elements for here to use like a clear plastic and that. So I just want to show you this one because I really like that ball there. See that portal? To use also in clear plastic. So that's the whole idea about this process, and about the first war game you're gonna see from us, like fully released. I mean, not fully released, it's gonna be in a crowdfunding, but then release straight away next year, very quickly next year, very early next year. Okay, oh my god. Right, okay. I think it's either it's frozen or the chat. Okay, let's go through this. Word of thanks, obviously. So if you go to our page, Archon Studio WOT apologies guys, you're gonna find a blog post there. So and also sign up. You can sign up to the newsletter. I just want to quickly show you some arts we have been finishing for that game. And what's kind of crazy about it is I still liking it. I mean, I didn't know I like tanks till I actually seen the tanks. So there's a bunch of tanks we have been designing, and obviously we start designing. We finished the tanks, and then we just moving now to cards, and the cards being designed now. So the sample pack for the game should be available soon. That sample pack will be sent out to reviewers, and also probably we'll have on one of the trade shows, or at least on 2 of the trade shows just before release. So that's that. Orion, for the Orion, please go to our blog post because we have a full blog post about Automa. Do you know that?
Yeah, the latest update did refer them to the blog post.
Okay, the latest update as well. So yeah, you can read up more about that on there. So Automa is been playtested already several times, right? Like several times. Mm-hmm. So I think there's no syntax errors there, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So
it should be going just fine.
What else there? Battles.
Yeah, Heroes Battles.
Heroes Battles. So you might not see those concepts, but we have finally got full approval on the concepts to be used them as they are. So this is for the castle faction concept arts for the miniatures. Now we plan to start sculpting some miniatures towards the end of this year, just to get a release next year. So you have to still bear with us because we have some other projects we have to push forward, and we struggle kind of a little bit to increase the capacity for 3D sculpting because we cannot take a lot of sculptors. We have to take gradually one sculptor, train it up, and one sculptor. I cannot take more than one sculptor at the same time because to train up the new sculptor for plastic injection, I have to take other one sculptor out of the sculpting job. So that's the big one. That's the problem basically. So we have to do it slowly. Once we increase that, we're going to have more plastic projects to retail and everything else. But till that happens, we have to basically put them in a queue, and the queue is at the moment the team is working partially on Port Heaven. The remaining team also partially works on Starcraft because that needs to be done for the main release. And then what else we work on? We work on the Starside, this means the miniatures game, and that's it, right? Invoker was put in a queue, and rest of the board games also been put in a queue. So yeah, that's what it is at the moment. Here's more concepts just for your pleasure. That's a good one. That is a good one. No, it was different story, but this was a funny story. Yeah, that's true. Cool. Let's go for the next slides. Starside, yay! So
these pictures from today's test?
Yes, from today's test. Yeah. So we've been testing the game. Obviously, this is not how I just bunched them together, the ships, just to see how they're going to look on the picture. So some of those things are placeholders. So definitely the bases are placeholder for terrain. This is terrain. So you're going to get full 3D terrain with that game. Hold on one second. Let me just hide that one. Sean, you had one job. Joking, huh? So in general, you're going to find in that game 3D terrain, and not only like normal 3D terrain. We're thinking about the movable 3D terrain. So you can imagine some of the asteroids will be actually floating in space, and you have to be careful when you maneuver, or when you fly, or when you do things on a table. Now bases, we back on a square basis. We have to. There was a several iteration of the game, so there was a version on a squares. We decided not to follow that version, not squares, the hexes. The hexes. We didn't want to follow that one. There was a version of hexes, but not on the hexes board. There's many complicated things. Like if you want to scale the game up to something bigger, you need to get a mat to be much bigger as well. So then we only gonna be providing this mat because the hexes are for our purposes sizes. So it was really complicated to actually get this type of game. So we decided to go with open space, and then we can provide the gaming mat, but obviously you won't have to, you can use anything you have if you have that from from X-Wing games or whatever, because it's still 90 by 90 centimeters, which is, what is that in squares, like whatever, it's the X-Wing one. So size wise, yeah, so 3D terrain, these ones are placeholder, but what you're going to find in the game, you have a squadrons. So you can launch the squadrons from your bigger ships, and they work like kind of independently. But this is only placeholder. I need to redesign the pack for them for the ship. So that's gonna be done. I think, I don't know, maybe on Saturday I will do it. You have a small slot to hold dice. That dice is used for several things, like to indicate which squadron belongs to which ship, because ship is basically giving orders to the squadrons. Yeah, so it looks very good on table, by the way. I mean, picture maybe not doing the justice, but yeah. And then the measuring stick, so you have different measuring sticks to maneuver. Obviously you'll find this unit stick when you have all the maneuvers on one stick, and then also individual one. We'll see which one's going to be working better if it's not clipping with other ships whatsoever. So that's that. Ship size wise, you can see how big they are. This is basically, it's not it's quite a lot, quite large ships, right? So something you probably haven't seen in other games. So yeah, that's that. Each of the ships will have a bunch of different components to modify them based on the type of the ship you have. So yeah. What are you laughing, Shimon?
I was just reminded of an old joke.
Okay.
Just looking at the ships.
All right, let's go through this. Yeah, so for the Starside, still for the Starside, we are working on a excuse me, third faction, the Outtrimmers. There's a bunch of concepts here, so you can have some feeling about what type of the faction it is. They look much more like scavengers, and that's correct, because that's what they do. They miners, that's what they mainly focus on, mining. But obviously they need to defend themselves from anything which is from outside the era. I like that one. Yeah, so they scavenge other ships, and then you have some rocket ships as well. Somebody said to me they look like a taxi with rockets. Kind of. But I like it. I like the design. It actually speaks about them a lot, because that vehicle, it was just a transport vehicle, which is then transformed into something which is the ship. So it speaks very well about how would faction, which is mainly dedicated to be a miners and everything else, all of a sudden needs to arm themselves and, you know, defend themselves from anything which is outside there. Cool.
Concerning Heroes of Might and Magic, the card game, will it be available in other languages other than English and Polish, like French, German, and Spanish? Most likely, yes. We're still looking at other languages, of course, but most likely, yes, it will be available in these languages.
Yeah, so stay tuned on the page. I mean, page will be updated, but I think we have to go full steam ahead in terms of translations, especially it's just ECG. I mean, we're learning this one with you guys. We're learning this process with you. So we will know exactly how many languages we have to do once the survey is out. I think we should be, you know, getting prepared for first survey, especially there's like 17,000 people there on the page or yeah, something like that. So I think from kind of maybe next AMA or maybe AMA after next AMA, I'll be able to start show you some assets, at least approved assets, obviously, because we also got a bunch of art approved. I think card layout will be approved as well. So those things. We got more miniatures for Port Heaven. We did a lot. As well, a lot of tools.
Yeah, some lovely ladies here.
Yeah, we do have lots of tools done, by the way, but I don't have sprues because they're still waiting in a queue to be put on a machine for testing. And at this stage, we have so much manufacturing that we're running through 2 shifts. So 2 shifts are running like fully from Monday to Friday. We might be doing then a night shift as well on top of that, because the capacity, we're just running out slowly capacity for manufacturing, and also getting more machines, again, more injection machines. We have 10. So maybe once we move the rack in, maybe we start ordering maybe one other one or maybe 2, because we really like physically running out of space now for capacity for production. And it shouldn't be happening basically, because obviously the worst case scenario is you don't have the production on time. Yeah, and it's we have like fully loaded capacity because we have new releases. On top of that, we have the we provide services to other companies, right? And then those companies are growing, so they require more, demanding more products. So kind of hitting the roof now with capacity. What else for Port Heaven? 2 more miniatures. There's more miniatures to show you, but I like that one. Hugo did that miniature. I really like it.
Yeah, it's nice.
And that one. That's so cool. I'm wondering how many pieces it's going to be. But I really like it. It's not big miniature, so I hope the guy's gonna cut this miniature in like maybe 4 or 5 pieces. Let's check questions here.
Summary of my question from Discord: why were pre-painted elements from caves available at UKG, potentially other shows and pre-order, while pledge shipment was still happening?
We planned. Okay, so the releases for anything which is out there for retail are planned about 6 months in advance, and 3 months in advance we have to notify everybody that, look, this is what's happening. We're gonna be, providing this one. We're taking pre-orders now, and so on, so on, so on. And the only one thing was, it's only one set, by the way, painted. It's not like entire set whatsoever. Just one set painted, to be clear. So when we sat down 6 months before release with the manufacturing team, they told us, yeah, everything is on schedule, and we're gonna be shipping in May. So we said, okay, if in May is shipping, just to put pressure on you, we will make July, end of July, release of first painted set. Are you okay with that? And manufacturers say, yeah, we're okay with that. So we're now in a position when we start shipping, and we're shipping in the same time when we're shipping the retail one. So that's what it is. It's really like planning needs to happen much quicker than anything else. So yeah.
Do you have a release window for Starside? So I believe the campaign has will be in Q4 ultimately. So later this year.
We push into Q4 because we wanna,
we just want to get it right.
We're gonna really polish this. I mean, as I said, we had other game for Starcide, and it was there. The guys designed it. Maybe it wasn't fully designed. It was just basically very advanced concept. But when I played the game, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it is like what we want to do.
I thought it was a great game, in my opinion. It needed some polishing, but I think the core foundations were there for a really interesting game.
Very interesting game, but in my opinion, wasn't a war game. That's the thing. So we needed to change to something else, and we basically focus on redesigning the game to be much more war game oriented. So I did explain this one to the team and other people here in the business that, when you design the product, when you design the game needs to be aligned with the product you are able to make. So initially what we wanted to do is to have pre-painted ships. So you would get like, them out of the box. This means the entry level or level of, customer level, it might be very, very low. We can get like board gamers to play this game, and then you can have other people also enjoying the game through the, wargaming spectrum as well. But eventually, because we're not going to be able, and we won't have a capacity to painted ships, and also we're not going to be redesigning those ships to be pre-painted, we decided they're going to be on the spruce. They're going to be wargaming product. They're going to look like a war game. They're going to sound like a war game. They're going to work like a war game. So they basically war game. So therefore, we needed to go back and say, okay, now we need to work on the rules just to make sure they're going to be more aligned with the wargaming vision or wargaming basically product. Yeah, so that's why we decided to move away from hexes, move away from some of the mechanics, keep some mechanics. I mean, I think the dice rolling and some things are being kept there. Some of the elements like mining still are there, but smaller version, and so on.
I personally liked Initiative in that system as well.
In which system?
In the previous one.
Have you tested the new one?
I've seen it.
Okay, so you have to test the new one because it's also. I think you can have a chat with Sławek about that one, so he can give you more idea about where we are with the game at the moment and how it works. So that's what it is. I mean, that's how it works with the game. So sometimes when you look at it and it doesn't do the dark voice, it's not dark, so it doesn't speak dark, whatever it's called. To show you a couple more miniatures, and then we can go for other questions. Yeah. There's also a bit about the floof, yeah, Starside floof. I mean, Alex is doing it, is partially. I need to oversee because there was like kind of my idea in my head, and they all want to please me. No, I'm joking. But in general, yes, I need to go and look into it. As well, and then Alex will carry on with the floof. Now, floof is gonna be it's not gonna be very, not supposed to be very deep at the moment because we're gonna be growing this floof for the future games and expect like 32mm tabletop miniature game in the future in the same setting. So, and it's our own thing, so it's here to stay forever.
Home Legacy shipping, are there any updates with the problematic destinations like Ukraine and Serbia? So from what I remember, the COO did go down to production today to organize that shipment of these pledges. What came from that, I don't know, but they should start coming out very soon.
Yeah,
hopefully. Because
there was some specific company we needed to use, right?
Unfortunately, no. We can't do it for Ukraine. We're going to have to just use the national post for Ukraine and Serbia, which for Ukraine is going to be Ukrpochta.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to be using any of the like private companies for Ukraine.
Okay, so we're not going to be using UPS whatsoever. I think they're not delivering.
Absolutely not UPS. Okay. There was gosh, the name escapes me now, but there was a company that's relatively popular.
Yeah.
In Ukraine, shipping wise. I'm pretty sure Meest is one. I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but a pledge of mine has been held in Dobra for about 10 days now, and is this to be expected for UK deliveries? When should I consider contacting the team? You can reach out to us now. We'll just message the shipping company, and they'll look into it.
I'm guessing something happened that wasn't updated in the system, but the parcel might be lost because that's also the case.
As long as the parcel's getting scanned, then it's not lost. But if there hasn't been any updates in 10 days, then it's most likely lost, and you'll have to reach out to us. Does the CEO always talk like he's paid by words per minute?
Why? Talking too fast? Sorry for that. I mean, I've got ADHD, so for me it's like normal. You should hear me in Polish, by the way. So I'm like 3 times faster.
I'm not much better, although I've been trying to slow down my words when I speak publicly. Well, it's a learning process.
The refunds for VAT are happening automatically, as far as I know.
Yes, 1 month after we've paid, and then a month before shipping, and now, who knows? Yes, so usually right now, I believe it should come like within a couple days of it being delivered to you, more or less. Yeah, for packages coming out now, it should be more or less like a couple days after receiving the package. It should show up in GameFound, the refund, and then it may take a couple more days until it finally reaches your account.
Starcide doesn't really rock my boat at the moment. Invoker is another story. Love the concept so far. Yep, I mean, to be honest, I'm on the same boat with you on that. I'm much more into Invoker, especially that, there's cool ideas we have, and just a few weeks ago when I was on a plane to States, there's some other ideas which I noted about how Invoker, in my opinion, should move ahead. But I'm really, really counting on that project on Invoker, and it's gonna happen next year, and it's gonna be a big one. It's the game, I think. It's gonna be a very interesting game, especially with the models and miniatures we have in mind, and the way how it's going to play, and also settings will slightly going to be readjusted, and globally readjusted in terms of how the fluff will work. I mean, the fluff basically. So had some ideas about the fluff, like spike it up a little bit. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, I think we're gonna be finishing for today. Oh no, not finishing. I still have a few slides to show you.
Yeah, we've got Naga and another animal companion.
That animal companion, you had your request that this glove or boxing glove, or basically the glove, should be like a separate element. It is. Mm-hmm. So we made it separate. And that's last two. So another companion, cat with wings.
It's the Homon Catus.
Yeah. And then we have a work in progress. This is just work in progress for Hydra. So do you know more about the Hydra heads?
Yeah, we're working on making them interchangeable. So you can have Hydra heads that are cut off, and also you can place like two Hydra heads in place of one where one was cut off. At least that's what we're working on right now. Once we have more specific details, we'll definitely post them in an update.
Yeah.
I was wondering why it's possible for other manufacturers to make minis without using sprues. Not a fan of sprues, obviously. Just wondering what prevents you from using, say, injection molding. We are using injection molding. The process for sprues is injection molding. It's just that, for example, for board games, a lot of these games, when they come out the box, the minis are already assembled.
True, and they made in different process.
Yeah,
they're made with plastic, which is called PVC plastic. So
or ABS, depending on.
Or IBS for some elements. That's correct. Yeah, and then somebody's actually assembling these miniatures for you, so you get them like pre-assembled from out of the box. We make them on sprues because there's a couple benefits. First of all, it's a hobby product, so it needs to be on a sprue because that's what dictates whether it's hobby or not hobby. The second thing is you got much better quality of models comparing to models which you will find on PVC.
Mm-hmm. Also, any updates/changes on Master of Orion would be nice to hear about. So I believe when it comes to specific faction abilities, there have been some changes since we last recorded the gameplay video. Because as always, it's a work in progress. There's always some stuff that's kind of hilariously broken. Obviously, we don't use like the super broken stuff during the live stream. But there was still some plenty of funny moments during it.
This is a good idea for the blog post, running changes post.
Well, there's a kind of an issue with this because a lot of changes that we make, a lot of them are just temporary, and we just want to see and test how it goes. We do keep our testing groups relatively updated on any changes, but I don't think. Well, I mean, if we really want to, we probably could do like live updates. It's just a bit difficult to keep track of sometimes as well.
Cool. Okay. Real miniatures always come on sprues. Everything else is a toy. I need to remember to speak slower. You have to remind me next time.
That's not possible.
I came late to the stream. Have you said anything about when late shipping of case will be?
Yeah, so Unpainted is mostly wrapped up. It's just some final stragglers left, and we're getting ready to ship pre-painted pledges out now.
Yeah.
We're just going to be shipping them together.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's gonna be all for today. Let's take maybe a few more minutes. If you got some, important questions, we're gonna just beam it up and answer. If there is no more questions, we're gonna be saying you goodbye, and I'm gonna be see you in couple weeks time, right? Or we have any other event scheduled? I don't think we have something scheduled, right?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.